Today on the Leukopak Lady, I'm discussing whether flow cytometry is suitable for fully assessing whether a donor's cells will perform well in manufacturing procedures. I mentioned in my previous episode that flow cytometry is great for analyzing PBMC subtype distribution in leukopak donors. And I feel this is essential for annotating donor databases and choosing donors for specific collections based on what therapy their cells will be used to make. However, in general, I'm not really a fan of using flow cytometry to assess the functionality and manufacturability of donor cells. There are many cellular markers of activation, cytokine responsiveness, proliferation, and senescence that could be useful in assessing cellular functions. In fact, some collectors run flow panels with 20, 30, 40 antibodies to test for these markers. And this generates a lot of data. But the data analysis is extremely difficult, and the insights into the overall health of the cells must still be inferred from the expression levels of many different cellular markers. Another issue is that good flow cytometry practice requires extensive expertise in immunology, as well as skill in performing the flow testing, analyzing the data, and interpreting the results in context of potential cellular functions and clinical outcomes. For these and other reasons, I feel that flow cytometry should be restricted to smaller panels and used only for donor and product characterization rather than assessing manufacturability of cells. As an alternative to flow cytometry to assess the donor cells, there's an emerging technology that I want to touch on briefly here called Laser Force Cytology. LFC is a label-free, single-cell analytical technology that uses optical and hydrodynamic forces to assess a cell's biophysical and biochemical properties in real time. LFC measures a cell's refractive index, size, shape, and internal structure. And different readouts from the instrument correlate with parameters such as membrane strength, cytoskeletal structure, and intracellular complexity. These readouts translate directly into insights about cell viability, resting versus activated states, differentiation status, and viral infection, none of which are dependent on choosing the right cellular markers to assess this information. LFC is useful at many stages of cell therapy manufacturing, but employing it at the donor qualification stage could be a game changer for both collectors and developers. If collectors used LFC to determine which donors have the intrinsic cellular characteristics that correlate with viability, activation, proliferation, and cytokine production, it could save developers immeasurable time and money on the development of their therapies and result in better quality therapies overall. And as a developer, imagine testing 20 leukopaks from 20 different donors. But instead of only 5 or 10 qualifying for your manufacturing process, now maybe 18 or even 20 qualify if pre-selected based on LFC results. And also, think about how happy the FDA would be knowing that the donors chosen for clinical therapy manufacturing had characteristics that correlate with better manufacturing success and therapeutic outcomes than other competing allogeneic therapies under development. So this description is not meant to be a commercial for Laser Force Cytology, but I've been studying it extensively for the better part of the last year, and I'm really just such a fangirl of the approach. And I truly think that it can be a game changer for donor qualification. Any collector willing to add it to their donor qualification process will leap ahead as an industry-preferred leukopak provider, in my professional opinion. So in the comments for this video, I will link a blog post about Laser Force Cytology from the company Lumicite, which is the inventor and seller of this technology. I will also tag Renee Hart, the president and chief business officer of Lumicite, so you can connect with her if you want to learn more. So come back next week. I will shift gears a little bit and I will talk about donor factors that impact logistics of leukopak collections and shipments.